Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. You can hear me okay? Okay. I would first like to thank Chris Weber and the Chamber for providing this opportunity to update the business community at the State of the Schools luncheon every year. I know minus the luncheon this time, but I certainly miss that we're not able to hold this at Paradigm today, which is a tradition we really enjoy. We'd actually rather have you right here on our campus if we could. But I am still grateful that you're taking the time out of your busy schedules to support our schools. Additionally, I want to thank and introduce our board members, some of whom are here on the call with us today. Our board president, Mary Briner, our vice president, Tom Tuttle, and the other members include Ken Buckley, Jenny Jessling, and Ambreen Hassan. And Ambreen was actually appointed to our board over the summer as our newest member. And our board is always extremely supportive of our initiatives, and especially so this year. We also love to invite students to this event. Today we have with us members of our student government leadership from Mentor High School, and I want to thank all of the students for joining us. As you may know, something that's been important to us is operating with a strong strategic plan. And I typically structure this presentation around the strategic plan. But please know the strategic plan goals still drive our work every day, but I will focus more on the uniqueness of this past year for today's presentation. Everything really changed so soon after we gave this presentation last year. And so I will give a little bit of the chronological story of how the year has unfolded since we last saw you. The 2019-2020 school year closed with students in fully remote learning under a statewide school closure from Governor DeWine. This felt very sudden for our students and staff as they left for spring break in March, and they did not have a chance to set foot in our school buildings again for the remainder of the year. I would like to take this opportunity, though, to mention how proud I am of our staff member team and their ability to continually work together with our parents and our guardians to support our students. Our administrators, teachers, support staff all did a phenomenal job navigating difficulties, and even continuing today, they are finding creative ways to deliver meaningful lessons and other services to our community's children, whether they are learning from our classrooms or from their own homes. We are always joined for this presentation by our MTA leadership and their president, Greg Lowry, who represent our teachers and most other certified staff, as well as our MCE leadership and their president, Donna Cola, who represent the classified staff who carry out numerous important roles to keep our schools going every day. As we headed into the pandemic, we were fortunate in Mentor schools to already have a strong foundation in place in terms of having the training and the tools needed for students and staff to succeed, especially because we already had devices for every child. Our IT team manages all of these devices, and they've been helping families since March by answering additional questions around the clock to keep our students going. Even though people were growing tired of the at-home learning by the time the end of May drew near, there were many silver linings that emerged at the end of last school year as the community came together for what students were missing out on through those typical end of the year activities. Yard signs popped up all around town as a special send-off from schools for 5th, 8th, and 12th graders took place. Schools held car parades to say goodbye to the year safely. Staff planned fun activities like virtual field day that the whole family could try. Teachers made special deliveries to students' homes and got creative about how to create virtual summer camps rather than cancel the in-person ones. And we planned a commencement ceremony like none other to give each Mentor High School graduate a special moment on stage with their diploma in the presence of immediate family members. As far as planning for commencement, we knew we had to figure out a way to make this really special. Students had already missed out on so much. The end of normalcy of their senior year, their senior projects, sports were canceled. The basketball team was in the final 8 when that tournament was canceled, and we had 2 wrestlers who made it to states who did not get a chance to compete at the state meet. Science Olympiad was canceled, spring musical, prom. As you know, the list goes on. And really, for the most part, our students handled all of the disappointment and heartbreak with dignity and grace. Even though a piece of the entire class being together would be missing, we held a safe and socially distanced individual commencement for every member of the senior class. Pomp and circumstance played more than 500 times as each student got to walk the stage, pick up their actual diploma, and pause for a special moment in front of their family and loved ones. The feedback we received about the ceremony has been heartwarming. Let's hear now from Pat Perry, who is one of our parents from last year. No sound, Kristen.
I don't know about anybody else, but I really don't remember. And when you look back, you think, it was incredibly personable. And rather than 3 seconds on stage, each graduate had, a couple minutes in the spotlight, which is totally cool. So I don't know about anybody else, but I really don't remember my high school graduation. And I can assure you, Matt is never going to forget his. We were also very impressed with how much time and effort the mentor administration, the faculty, and of course the school board put into that week, which to us was unbelievable to take one student at a time. We had 2 children go through Mentor schools, and from Bellflower to Ridge to Mentor High School, the priority of safety first for our children always resonated. That was the message from the administration. And I can share with you that the 2020 graduation really put an exclamation point on that promise.
Those are kind words from Pat, who I think may be in the audience with us today. We created a compilation video of the ceremony, complete with the senior class speeches, choir, and a feature of each graduate. And we released it to families in the summer. If you ever wanted to see that, you can view that from our website. Another great story out of the early days of the pandemic, and perhaps some of the most important work that we never let up on, our essential workers from the school nutrition services made sure students and families still had access to free breakfast and lunch meals from our kitchen. We have served tens of thousands of meals since March to ensure no child goes hungry. This has been funded through the USDA, and no-cost meals for all children in our community continue through the rest of this school year. Children can get meals in our cafeteria or pick up meals if they're learning from home. Our team is really proud of the work they're doing, and the community has been appreciative. Let's hear from Tracy Cresci, Mentor High's Nutrition Services Manager.
It touches all of our hearts when we see the people come up that thank us and say this has really helped them through this time, because a lot of people are struggling. So we are all very happy to be able to help the community in this way.
Working our way into this school year now, our team worked tirelessly over the summer months to get our learning spaces ready for the current school year amid the constantly changing conditions of the COVID-19 world. We listened carefully to feedback from the community and health experts and held virtual town hall meetings to make sure everyone had the opportunity to stay informed about the complex decisions and changes that were made. Something that was abundantly clear for the planning of the school year was the very different levels of comfort for in-person. Some felt very safe, others not as much. So for school, that meant we needed to provide families a choice for their children's learning and safety. As a result, this year, Mentor Public Schools is responsible for the education of more than 7,400 of our community's children in preschool through 12th grade. 2,000 of those children are embarking on the new journey with us, learning from home through Mentor Schools Online with Mentor Schools teachers and support staff. We offered the opportunity for families to revisit that choice at the end of the first semester, which just concluded on January 15th. And the numbers stayed almost the same, with slightly more students coming back to in-person learning than leaving to go out to fully online learning. At the middle and high school levels, Mentor School's online students follow their typical schedule, but use Zoom to attend the classes from home at the same time their peers are learning from inside the classrooms. This is a unique and challenging way for our secondary teachers to deliver instruction, and their ability to do this well has been impressive. That being said, synchronous learning is not our preferred method for delivering instruction at the secondary level. Rather, it was a very effective temporary solution to help us navigate this year's challenges. At the elementary level, which covers grades K through 5, Mentor School's online students are grouped together and placed with a designated teacher in typical classroom sizes on Zoom. This is an ideal way to deliver online instruction, and students and teachers have really gotten into a groove of making this work. This team of educators has been dynamic, taking on this new challenge, 36 of them in all total. Let's hear now from Megan Kirby, who is one of our fully online third grade teachers, and a couple of her students.
I feel really lucky that I have the opportunity to reach the students that aren't able to be in person for a number of reasons, because they are immunocompromised themselves, because they are living with someone who is immunocompromised, because they have other health issues within their family. It's just really nice to be able to put a mentor teacher in front of those students and give them the same education that they would be getting in person.
She gives us writing journals, so we write on the journals. So then we write on our animals, and then the favorite animal we like, the facts about it, and then we go down to closing meeting. Sometimes she puts us in breakout rooms, sometimes she lets us cheer, but we get it done. Then we get to play a game like I Spy, Padoodle, and guess what number it is. That's a new one I learned today.
And it's fun because she makes everything fun, and we all do it in the schedule. And I just feel at home because I'm at home, but I also feel like I'm at school because I'm really at school. So it's nice.
It's just been awesome to see them grow. I really didn't know what this would look like. I really didn't know if I would be able to feel like I was reaching my students the way I would be able to in person. But I can confidently say now that we're halfway through the school year that things are running really smoothly, and the students have adjusted beautifully, and we're doing the same learning online that we would in person.
The majority of our students are enrolled in in-person learning, and many changes have been implemented to make school as safe as possible. The in-person model has 3 basic plans attached to it, so the learning style could change in reaction to current COVID conditions. We determined whether to be all in, which would be what I would always prefer, but it hasn't happened yet this school year. We could be fully remote, which we did for several weeks during the November to January COVID surge, or we could be in a hybrid model, which is our current situation. The hybrid plan, which we've operated in the majority of the year, is used if there's a moderate risk level in order to limit the number of students attending in-person classes at one time. Hybrid basically means students are in school part-time and learning from home part-time. We're using the Ohio Public Health Advisory System for guidance and decision-making regarding the in-person model. And while it's not the only metric we are using, it has been an important one for us. I strongly believe in our in-person model, that our in-person model has been working so well so far due to our layered approach to safety. In fact, a high percentage of students and staff cases could be contact traced to someone outside of the schools. Our team has planned and worked hard from the summer to implement some important mitigation strategies. We also worked and continue to work very closely with the Lake County General Health District to make sure we aren't missing any opportunity to keep our students and staff safe. I want to take a moment to look at some of these layers that are so important to us. Of course, first and foremost, we've instructed everyone to vigilantly assess for symptoms, including taking one's temperature every day and staying home when sick. People have been doing an excellent job following this expectation. Next is face coverings. Students of all ages, even preschool, and all staff are required to wear face masks in school. This is nearly all day with limited breaks, such as lunch or sometimes recess, depending on what activities are happening. The cooperation of our students wearing their masks at school has been overwhelmingly impressive. Our students really have been outstanding with this from day one, and even our little ones. Let's hear from Lauren Skelly, one of our seniors.
All of the teachers and students have to wear masks every day when they come to school, but we all get mask breaks throughout the day, so we get a chance to go outside, take them off, breathe a little bit, and then put them back on before we come in our next class. And it's really not that bad because it's better than being at home on Zoom every day, because we get to spend a lot of time with our teachers and our students. And because the class sizes are a lot smaller, we get a lot more one-on-one time with the teachers. Even though we have the masks on, it's still a lot easier to learn in person in classrooms with the masks.
The next virus mitigation strategy that we invested a lot of resources into is creating physical distance. It was important to us and the Board of Education to ensure the best practice of 6 feet of physical distancing between students, and that was achievable in our classrooms. Operating at the hybrid model makes this possible for secondary students, since only half a class is in person at a time. But at the elementary level, we understand it is much more difficult for families to have children at home due to the need for supervision. It even affects businesses like yours if parents need to stay home with their children. So we've hired more than 50 additional staff members at the elementary level so we could reduce class sizes and spread everyone out for this school year. This works out to about 18 students or fewer in each class. And the reason we had the space available is because a number of students chose the Mentor School's online option. So we've been pretty successful in maintaining social, physical distancing in our schools. And this has been really helpful when we find out someone has contracted COVID-19. It has significantly reduced the number of people who are required to quarantine. Because when the plan is executed the right way, very few people should be defined as a close contact. Another area where we've invested in extra resources is with our custodial team. Our cleaning and sanitizing procedures are thorough. This is something we always take seriously, and now we've hired extra custodians, so we've ramped up our efforts even more. They have all the tools they need, including electrostatic sprayers. We're disinfecting surfaces frequently, paying close attention to the high-touch areas to reduce the chance that students and staff will come into contact with the virus. Along with our continued deep cleaning and sanitization efforts that are happening every day, we made another improvement for health and wellness in our buildings. While students were away over winter break, we worked to improve the indoor air quality in all of our schools and other buildings. Several hundred bipolar ionization devices were installed all across the district. These devices work by neutralizing particulate matter, bacteria and virus cells, odorous gases and aerosols, and volatile organic compounds, better known as VOCs. This technology has been found to be very effective against the coronavirus, as well as other viruses, and essentially will help clean and purify the air for years to come in learning spaces all across the district. So this will even fight the annual arrival of colds and flu as we head into the future. And while proper hand washing and physical space between people are among best practices to curb the spread of COVID, hand sanitizer and physical barriers are helpful tools to use when that is not possible. We have placed hand sanitizer in every classroom and in all of the class common areas in every one of our schools and buildings. We also purchased plexiglass and plastic barriers for use at workspaces and in the cafeterias when needed. Also, as children have faced a lot of change and uncertainty in their lives this year, we've continued our focus on providing social and emotional support for students, making sure our resources and services are available for students who need them, whether they're working from home or at school. This includes our work with our great partners from Crossroads and NAMI. NAMI helps to raise the awareness of the mental health conditions and specifically shares a message that depression is treatable and suicide is preventable. We are also still able to do our online monitoring of student devices, even when they're learning from home, because while they're on our devices, their internet searches or emails to one another still filter through our network. Then we receive alerts about any concerning activity so we can address it quickly with parents and students. Many of those alerts are false alarms. However, there have been instances where we have been able to have conversations and put additional supports in place for a student who may be struggling with something. Our safety focus extended this year due to COVID-19 planning, but I can assure you, we haven't let up on any of our other school safety initiatives at the same time. If we were in person, I'd ask Mentor Police Chief Ken Gunch and Fire Chief Bob Searles to stand to thank them for everything they and their departments do to help keep our community's children safe in schools. We continue to value our partnership and work together so much. Providing a safe learning environment where students can grow academically, socially, and emotionally is our #1 goal in Mentor schools, but we also continue to make it a top priority to meet that goal while also being good stewards of our community's members' tax dollars. All of the adaptations we have made to keep moving forward in Mentor schools during this challenging time has certainly had a financial impact on our district. On the screen is a chart that was prepared by our CFO, Dan Wilson. And during the shutdown, there were a couple of categories in which we were able to save money, like substitute pay and bus fuel. And we did receive some federal CARES funds, but that did not offset our state subsidy being cut, plus the cost of all the extra support staff we needed to hire to operate safely this year. The COVID financial impact for us is significant, more than $10 million over the 2 years. We are fortunate. Our longtime prudent fiscal management in Mentor schools by the Board of Education and by our CFO, Dan Wilson, have allowed us to make the necessary adjustments to fund the unexpected costs of COVID-19. And on the topic of finances, we did recently learn we've earned a perfect audit for fiscal year 2020, for which we are always honored. Another thing that is very important to us is providing transparent communication throughout this public health crisis. There is a coronavirus section of our website where you can see how our response to the COVID-19 crisis has unfolded since the beginning. Everything from video updates to a data dashboard is posted here, going back to the first notice sent to families about COVID-19 in February of 2020. But before I'm done talking about COVID-19, I really want to give a shout out to our Health Commissioner, Ron Graham, and his team. Over the last several months, we have been in contact with the Lake County General Health District on nearly a daily basis. We are grateful for their support and guidance from Ron and his team to help make the best decisions, not only for the health and wellness of our students and staff, but for the greater community as well. Another strategic plan goal that's important considering what's happening in the world around us, no matter how busy we are with COVID-19, is diversity, equity, and inclusion. In my role, I feel a particular call to duty to not just protect our students, but I want all of them to feel accepted, safe, and valued. I also want our students to be prepared for a global world well beyond the borders of Mentor. And while our district has made progress with our work in these areas, there's still a lot to do. This year, a new committee was formed and is giving special attention to expand our work on the topic of diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. So far, some action steps have included professional development sessions for our teachers. We want to help make sure teachers have support when uncomfortable conversations may arise that can be challenging. As always, we are teaching the importance to our students of acceptance and tolerance of others, as well as choosing to be kind to one another. Let's hear from Jasmine Venson, one of our elementary teachers who volunteered to be part of our committee.
Everybody kind of has a different idea for how we can build equity. And I like that there's so many different perspectives of parents, perspectives from students, perspectives from teachers, and perspectives from administration. And so kind of seeing all of those together, our overall goal is to bring awareness. And I think that it's also just really important to remember that we're always teaching equity, whether it's through our action or through our inaction. And so we want to make sure that we are representing ourselves and portraying ourselves in a way that would make our students proud and also help them feel respected and feel as though they're seen.
I do also want to touch on one other academic area that is usually of particular interest to the business community, and that is our Career Tech program. This is a pathway for students that just keeps getting stronger. In these courses, the classroom really meets the real world with hands-on learning, and students gain necessary skills and experience that will help them in future careers. Many of our courses are developed to meet actual workforce gaps that have been identified. So students are on a path to earn industry-recognized credentials where we know jobs are available and rewarding careers are within reach. We currently offer 21 career tech courses for our students. And brand new this year, we were able to add an automotive course in Mentor, which has been made possible through our partnership with Classic. You may have driven past the new facility on Tyler Boulevard, and you're seeing footage from the brand new classroom and lab on your screen. This program is incredible and allows students to apply skills needed to inspect and perform general service on vehicles, including inspection and service on engines, drivetrains, suspension, steering, and electrical and braking systems. Students also have the opportunity for a work-based learning experience in the automotive field, and currently several students are completing paid internships with Classic Automotive and/or other area businesses. We are currently finalizing plans with the Mentor Fire Department for our joint EMT Career Tech course offering, which will launch next year. This will be a one-year emergency medical technician program with Mentor Fire, located at the new Mentor Regional Response Facility. This is a perfect example of working with community partners to address workforce needs that are happening right here in our community. We hope this program can help as Northeast Ohio is facing a shortage of public safety personnel. Thank you to Chief Searles and the Mentor Fire Department for working with us on this. And you may have seen this in the paper today, an incredible showing of community partnerships working to bring this one-of-a-kind classroom facility to reality. The AWT Transformation Training Center. This would be built on property donated by Freedon Corporation, and the Alliance for Working Together Foundation will own and operate the facility, which will be used as a next-level training facility for skilled manufacturing positions. Mentor High students will be able to attend this location and have the opportunity to earn their AWT pre-apprenticeship certificate. Elementary age students will have the opportunity to participate in the Summer Manufacturing Institute at the new facility, which is a collection of several week-long STEM camps. Middle school and high school students will also have the opportunity to participate in Junior Bots and Robobots. These programs are used as a way for local manufacturers to foster local talent. Many Robobot participants go on to become innovators, pursue engineering degrees, and a few even begin working for their company sponsor upon graduation. In fact, 2020 Mentor graduate Cliff Spencer competed in Robobots and was hired after by Freedon and is now currently in their AWT apprenticeship program. Thanks to our supportive community, beyond the curricular opportunities we offer, more than 60 clubs, activities and sports at the high school, and more than 25 at the middle school level, and even several at the elementary level, which means there's a lot to celebrate. Here are some of the highlights since I last presented to you last year. We are working really hard to keep our extracurricular programs running safely through COVID. Just this past weekend, our fall play that had been originally postponed was performed at the Fine Arts Center in front of a very limited audience. Our football team made it into the state semifinals this year in Matt Gray's first season as head coach. And our Fighting Cardinal Marching Band was so creative in spreading out practice all across the campus to make sure they could play and practice safely. While the state competition they always excel in was canceled, fans were able to see them play at our football games. And since we saw you last, 3 of our coaches were named State Coaches of the Year: basketball coach Bob Krasancic, hockey coach Paul Makito, and gymnastics coach Jessica Arps. We had more AP Scholar recipients than ever before, and award-winning artists and musicians. And this year we have 3 National Merit semifinalists and 10 commended students. And Fairfax Elementary School was named a 2021 Hall of Fame school by the Ohio Association of Elementary School Administrators. The Hall of Fame School Award recognizes schools that engage faculty, students, and the community to provide a well-rounded, high-quality school experience with documented effectiveness of the educational programs in several areas. The list of accomplishments could go on and on, especially with all the flexibility that has been demonstrated to keep learning going. There's just so much to be proud of here in Mentor Schools. I do want to thank you for your attendance and attention here today. And I do want to give a special thank you to Kristen Kirby and Liz Rutkowski for their help today in putting the presentation together. And if time permits afterwards, I'm happy to take any questions. But first, I do want to leave you with just one quick example of how adaptive our students and staff can be. Here are choir students led by directors Adam Landry and Glenn Colma from both the middle school and high school levels performing the song, I Sing Because.
I sing because I breathe. I sing because I see. I sing because I know the ocean will continue to roll. I sing because I feel. I sing because I hear. I sing because I know the forest will continue to grow. I hear all the sounds I hear all the music, and I have my own voice. I sing because I breathe. I sing because I see. I sing because I know that someone hears my voice. And joy, and joy, and joy, and joy.